But as a party, we need to recognize that today, Canadians want and need us to relentlessly focus on one thing: the economy. Canadians want good jobs, homes they can afford, and great care for their kids. They want a government that is as careful with Canada's money as Canadians are with their own. These bread and butter issues are more important today than ever because our country is facing what could well be an existential threat. Tomorrow, Donald Trump will be inaugurated as President of the United States. He has threatened to hit Canada with 25% tariffs on everything we sell to the US. He wants to steal our jobs and drive away investment. He has spoken clearly and repeatedly about making our Canada the 51st state. Yeah, and he's threatened to use economic coercion to do so. Yeah, that is absolutely right. We do have to stop him, and we will. So here's my promise. If you choose me to become leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister, I will lead a true Canadian response to the threat we now face. We will be united. We will be strong. We will be smart. And that's why we will win. We will. Je vais rassembler chaque province et territoire, les dirigeantes d'entreprises et les travailleuses et travailleurs, les Canadiennes et les Canadiens de tous les milieux et de toute conviction politique. Je l'ai fait pour la renégociation. Je l'ai fait pour la renégociation de l'ALENA. Je l'ai fait pendant la pandémie. Et je vais le faire encore. I will unite every province and territory, business leaders and working people, and Canadians from every walk of life and of every political conviction. I did it during NAFTA. I did it during COVID, and I will do it again. This is the lesson of the peace country. When it's 40 below, every man is your friend, and you don't lock your cabin door. When we play as Team Canada, we win. Unity is the first step. Next, we need to recognize this is a time for Canada to be strong. So, I have a message today for President Trump. We are your neighbor and your most important trading partner. You export more to Canada than to China, Japan, the UK, and France combined. Canadians and Americans are friends. We're often family. We are allies. We have fought shoulder to shoulder in 2 world wars, in Korea, in Afghanistan. We won't pick a fight with you. We don't want a fight with you. But if the fight comes to our door, remember, we love our country just as much as you love yours. Canada is not for sale, and our sovereignty is not negotiable. Le Canada n'est pas à vendre et notre souveraineté n'est pas négociable. So, if you hit us, we will hit back. And I promise, if I'm Prime Minister, our response to illegal and unjustified tariffs will be dollar for dollar retaliation. If you force our hand, we will inflict the biggest trade blow that the United States has ever endured. Canada will not escalate. But if I am Prime Minister, Canada will never back down. Canada ne fera pas escalader la situation. Mais si je suis la première ministre, le Canada ne reculera jamais. And then there's Pierre Poilievre. You know what the real problem with Pierre Poilievre is? It's not that he's mean. We know that. It's not that he's a career politician. We know that. It's not that he doesn't have a plan. We know that too. The real problem with Pierre Poilievre, he is weak. He's afraid to fight back against people he admires. Sure, he's happy to dunk on the liberals on Twitter, but he will never stand up to Donald Trump. He can't even stand up to Danielle Smith. Make no mistake, if Pierre Poilievre is elected, he will be on the first flight to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring. He will bend down and sell us out. Laissez-moi vous dire quelque chose. Lorsque on a affaire à un intimidateur, la faiblesse est une provocation. Il y a une raison pour laquelle Donald Trump sait exactement qui je suis. Il y a une raison pour laquelle il ne m'aime pas beaucoup. C'est parce que la dernière fois qu'on s'est retrouvés face à face, je me suis battue pour le Canada. Et on a gagné. I have always fought for the things I believe in and for the people I care about. For my family, for your family, for Canada. As a student, I fought the KGB until they kicked me out of the Soviet Union. As foreign minister, I fought for Canadian jobs and Canadian businesses. As finance minister, I fought for Canadian families. And yes, as deputy prime minister, I fought back against the prime minister when I knew the time had come to put our country first. We need a battle-tested leader with the scars to prove it. Because the stakes for our beloved country are just too damn high. Yeah, I've taken my share of slings and arrows over the years. And I am still standing. Because you know what? I know how to fight and I know how to win. On est tous très chanceux. On vit dans le meilleur pays du monde. pays où on travaille fort et où on s'occupe de nos voisins, où, quelle que soit votre langue, votre apparence, la personne que vous aimez, vos croyances ou l'endroit où vous êtes né, chaque jour représente une nouvelle opportunité. Un pays fièrement bilingue. Qui s'étend sur près de 10 millions de kilomètres carrés et dont la diversité est sans précédent. Un pays qui est resté uni malgré les guerres mondiales et les guerres commerciales, les crises d'unité et une pandémie mondiale. Un pays uni qui n'a jamais connu un défi si grand qu'il ne pouvait surmonter. Que ce soit face à Donald Trump, dans la lutte contre les changements climatiques, ou la défense de la langue française. C'est un privilège de me battre pour notre pays. De me battre pour les Canadiennes et les Canadiens. De me battre pour le Canada. Aujourd'hui, nous demandons l'aide de chacun d'entre vous, chaque libéral à travers le pays. Nous avons besoin de votre aide pour faire des appels, pour frapper aux portes, pour parler à vos amis, à votre famille et à vos voisins, pour leur montrer que nous sommes le parti qui est prêt à se battre pour les Canadiennes et les Canadiens. Qui est prêt à se battre pour le Canada? We are all so lucky. We live in the greatest country in the world. A country where we work hard and where we look after our neighbors. A country where no matter what language you speak, or what you look like, or who you love, or what you believe in, or where you were born, every day represents a new opportunity. A proudly bilingual country. Spread across nearly 10 million square kilometers, unprecedented in its diversity, which has stayed together through world wars and trade wars, through unity crises and a global pandemic, and a country that has never met a challenge greater than our united Canadian spirit. What a gift it is to call our incredible country home. And at this critical moment, what a privilege it is to fight for it. To fight for Canadians. To fight for Canada. And so today, we are calling on each of you, on every Liberal, in every corner of our great country, to join our team. We need your help to make calls, to knock on doors, to talk to your friends and your family and your neighbors, to show them that we are the party that is ready to fight for them. The party that is ready to fight for you. That is ready to fight for Canadians. And that is ready to fight for Canada. You're ready to fight, aren't you? I can feel it. That is so great. That is so, so great. We are ready to fight, aren't we? And so, with your help, we are going to fight. And we are going to win. Because we're Canadian. That's right, because we're Canadian and we're so proud to be Canadian. The true north, strong and free. We are so proud to be Canadian. And because we're Canadian and we know that when we are united, nothing and no one can stop us. Join us. Join the fight. Ensemble, nous pouvons y arriver. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very, very much. We're only getting started.
We'll take some questions from media now. Nous allons maintenant prendre des questions des médias.
Hi, Ms. Freeland. Mackenzie Gray with Global News. Hoping you can answer this in both English and French. Folks close to you have told us that if you become PM, you plan to scrap the carbon tax and replace it with something else. But as early or as most recently as December 9th, you extolled the virtues of both the carbon tax and the rebate. So can you tell us over the past 41 days what has changed in your thinking that the carbon tax is not the right thing to go forward with?
Thanks for the question, Mackenzie. And the time has come for us as a government, as a country, to do two things. I think we all know we have to fight against climate change. We all get that. We need to do it for our kids. We need to do it for the planet. Liberals believe in that, and that is a fight that has to continue. But it is also the case that we need to get better at listening to Canadians and at listening to what Canadians are telling us. And we have heard very clearly from Canadians in provinces where there is a consumer-facing price on carbon that they don't like it. That's something that we have to listen to. Democracy means when people tell you something, you have to listen. And I will say, our party hasn't been good enough at that. That has to change, and I am going to change that. Merci pour la question. Alors, la lutte contre les changements climatiques est tellement importante. On doit continuer avec cela pour notre planète, pour nos enfants et petits-enfants, et aussi pour notre économie. C'est essentiel. En même temps, c'est très important d'être à l'écoute aux Canadiens et Canadiennes. Et les Canadiens et Canadiennes dans les provinces où il y a un tarif direct sur le carbone qui fasse directement aux consommateurs, qu'ils ne veulent pas. On doit être à l'écoute et on doit changer cela.
Ms. Freeland, Kamal Karamali here with CTV National News. Curious to know why you're boasting of it as an advantage that Donald Trump doesn't like you, especially between two key trading partners. Shouldn't you be getting along with him? And secondly, curious to know why you've limited questions to one per media outlet, especially when you haven't been available for such a long amount of time. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Look, Donald Trump doesn't like me for one simple reason. I have been fierce, resolute, and effective in defending Canada, in defending Canadians, and in defending the Canadian economy, in negotiations with the United States, in negotiations with his administration. He doesn't like that. He prefers pushovers. And I want to assure Canadians that I am up for the fight and I will be firm and resolute in the defense of the national interest. You want someone as leader of the Liberal Party and as Prime Minister who Donald Trump is afraid of.
Bonjour, Andréane Williams, Radio-Canada. Ma question...
Bon, est-ce que je peux répéter la réponse en français parce que je n'ai pas fait cela, je m'excuse. Alors, j'étais très claire que Donald Trump, qui sait qui je suis et qu'il ne m'aime pas beaucoup. Et il ne m'aime pas beaucoup pour une bonne raison. Parce que j'ai défendu le Canada. J'ai défendu le Canada fermement et j'ai réussi. Et c'est ce que je vais faire encore une fois.
Andréane Williams, Radio-Canada. J'aimerais avoir votre réaction par rapport à la décision, à l'annonce aujourd'hui de Mélanie Joly de soutenir Mark Carney. Est-ce que ce n'est pas un pied de nez qu'elle vous fait aujourd'hui, le jour de du lancement de votre campagne?
Je respecte Madame Joly beaucoup. Pour moi, le Québec, la langue française, l'identité distincte, la nation québécoise seront au cœur de ma campagne. C'est pourquoi j'ai commencé ma campagne au Québec. C'est pourquoi le premier entrevue que j'ai donné était en français. Parce que je sais l'importance du français, je sais l'importance d'identité québécoise et je dois dire encore une chose. Je sais qu'aujourd'hui, la langue française, l'identité du Québec sont menacées comme jamais. La menace que Trump pose au Canada, c'est aussi une menace qui s'est posée au Québec. Je sais très bien que les Québécois et Québécoises ne veulent pas devenir le 51e État des États-Unis. Et je suis ici pour défendre le Québec, défendre la langue française, défendre l'identité distincte du Québec, défendre le bilinguisme de notre merveilleux pays. Et je suis tellement contente que plusieurs députés du Québec, incluant Stéphane Lauzon, le chef du caucus du Québec, est ici avec moi.
Ms. Freeland, thank you for taking my question. Ahmed El-Bayoumi with Polycorner, and I do hope moving forward we can have more opportunities to ask questions.
And if you'll excuse the technical difficulty, we just lost the signal to Toronto as we've been listening to Chrystia Freeland, former Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, officially kicking off her campaign to be the next Liberal leader. We have the signal back. Let's go. We're back to Toronto.
For Israel's military operations in Gaza. We haven't seen this at any other campaign launch, not at Ms. Gould, not at Mr. Carney's. Why do you think you're being singled out by these protesters? And is there anything of substance that you can say to their concerns about the government's response to the war?
Thank you for the question. I do want to say I am really grateful that we live in a democracy. I am really grateful that we live in a country where everyone can express their view and where everyone has the right to protest. That is an amazing thing about Canada, and it's really important that people can disagree with each other and that everyone can state their view. It's also the case that the right to protest doesn't include the right to disrupt other people's right to speech. That is also essential about Canada. We cannot allow protest doesn't mean drowning out other people's voices. That is entirely unacceptable. That is not how Canadian democracy works. And I know that Canadians are not going to stand for that, and neither will I. When it comes to the Middle East, let me just say I am cautiously optimistic about the ceasefire in Gaza. I think we all share that sense of cautious optimism. For me, and I think for all of us, what has happened has been absolutely heartbreaking. It has been awful to see the images, to hear the stories, to see the carnage. That is absolutely unacceptable. Canada has been calling for a ceasefire. I am cautiously optimistic about the ceasefire that has been announced. It is so important for people to stop dying, and it is so important to recognize the pain, the heartbreak, the tragedy.
Good afternoon, Rafi Wujikani on CBC News. Could you explain why your difference of opinion with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on the economy started when he wanted to change your job in cabinet? Why was this the catalyst for you to begin speaking out?
Because the difference didn't start then. For some time, I had been in disagreement with the Prime Minister, specifically over spending. Those disagreements got worse after President Trump threatened to impose 25% tariffs on our country. At that point, I realized that we faced what could be an existential threat. And I realized that we had to really focus all of our energies on being ready for that threat. We had to keep our fiscal firepower dry. I was very clear about that, and we saw the consequences. Durant longtemps, j'étais en désaccord avec le Premier ministre, surtout sur les dépenses. Et ce désaccord était devenu plus intense après l'élection du président Trump et après son annonce après son menace d'imposer les tarifs de 25% au Canada. À ce moment-là, j'ai compris que c'était une menace potentiellement existentielle en notre pays. À un moment qu'on fait face à une menace existentielle, on ne pourra pas se permettre des dépenses électoralistes. J'étais claire concernant cela et on a vu les résultats.
Hi, Vipal Manga from the Wall Street Journal. You talked about the importance of unity taking on Trump in this trade war. What's your strategy for bringing Alberta online?
That is a really good question. And one of the things that I do think we need to do as a country is build a true Team Canada. You know, I know that Canada can win. I know that Canada has what it takes because we always have. But I do not minimize at all the threat we face. And the way we win, the way we won when we renegotiated NAFTA, the way we succeeded during COVID was by building a true Team Canada approach. We have to do that again. Canada includes Alberta, and we do have to work hard with Alberta to get Alberta on side. I'm really ready and happy to do the work that it takes to do that. And I also want to say, I'm relying on the other premiers of the other provinces and territories. A true Team Canada effort means all of us have to work together, and that is work that I've done. I've shown that I can get along with Conservative premiers, with NDP premiers, and with Liberal premiers. I know it can be achieved. It's something we need to do, and I am prepared to roll up my sleeves and do it.
Une question en français. Il n'y a pas eu beaucoup de questions en français, Mme Freeland, Mylène Crête de la presse. J'aimerais savoir, vous avez signé plusieurs budgets à l'encre rouge comme ministre des Finances, pardon. Est-ce que vous engageriez à retourner à l'équilibre budgétaire dans une première année d'un premier mandat Freeland?
Pour moi, la responsabilité fiscale est très importante et c'était l'enjeu principal des désaccords entre moi et le Premier ministre. Concernant l'avenir, maintenant, on doit voir ce que le président Trump va faire et on doit construire notre politique autour de cela. On ne sait pas qu'est-ce qu'il va faire et on doit être prête à répondre. Moi, je suis prête à répondre. Je suis prête à défendre le Canada face à la menace du président Trump. Je sais comment on doit le faire. On doit être unis. On doit être forte et on doit être intelligente. So fiscal responsibility is important to me. It was one of the principal, really the principal reason for my disagreement at the end with the Prime Minister. Right now, and it was really important at the time because we needed to keep our fire powder dry to be ready for the threat that President Trump poses. Now we need to see what's going to happen. We need to be ready to stand up and to defend Canada from this threat. I know we can do it, and I know how to do it. We need to be strong. We need to be smart, and we need to be united, and that is something we can do. Thank you very much.
And we have been listening to Chrystia Freeland, former Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, officially kicking off her campaign to be the next Liberal leader. A bit of a longer kickoff than expected, and that is owing to pro-Palestinian protesters who interrupted the first 30 minutes of Ms. Freeland's event today on and off.
Use Kayak to book flights on days that cost less.